Anthony Joshua!
Aren't many fighters not named Canelo Alvarez that can pack 70,000 in the house, but this is par for the course for Anthony Joshua.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, champ.
World, Anthony Joshua.
This man has become an icon in many ways for what he's been able to do outside of the ring.
Rank Jake Paul if he wins this fight, and that will put him in position at least to fight for a world title. Whatever you want to say about Jake Paul, we were all there.
Captured the imagination and generated huge interest. Two men who split opinion, a fight that splits opinion. It has to be the most eagerly anticipated 8-rounder that any...
The upcoming fight between Anthony Joshua and Jake Paul is shaping up to be one of the most electrifying and talked about matchups in recent memory. Joshua enters the ring with his trademark power, world-class experience, and Olympic pedigree, while Jake Paul brings speed, unpredictability, and a relentless self-belief that continues to surprise seasoned observers.
Rock, they said no photos, Rock. Huh? They said no photos.
Okay, we'll do that, yeah.
But this is what we signed up for, and he's very tall, but that means I can use my speed and my size.
Analysts expect fireworks early, as both fighters are in peak condition and hungry to make a statement. Jake Paul, in particular, has shown a level of confidence that has caught the attention of many within the boxing community. Recent commentary highlights that Paul believes deeply in his ability to rise to the moment and secure victory. This time, he isn't approaching the fight as a celebrity underdog, he's approaching it like a contender. Analysts note that his mindset reflects not only sharp physical preparation, but also a focused mental approach. Rather than underestimating the challenge of facing a former heavyweight champion, Paul appears to be embracing the moment as an opportunity to prove himself at the highest level. However, not everyone shares the same optimism. BJ Flores, respected boxing analyst and former professional fighter, has voiced caution regarding Paul's chances. While acknowledging that Anthony Joshua may not be in his absolute prime, Flores stresses that Joshua's size, skill.
He's very big. I'm here to shock the world, inspire the next generation. We're in the Heat arena. I'm a big Heat fan. Miami's on fire. This is my first pro fight, was in Miami against Gibb. I'm bringing that same energy here.
And years of elite-level experience present enormous challenges for Paul. He argues that Jake is stepping into deep waters against a fighter who has faced world champions, knockout artists, and top-tier heavyweights. According to Flores, this matchup may be arriving too soon in Paul's development. On the other hand,
to Andy Garcia, I don't think that means you're punchy. I think that means he's fought the best fighters, the best heavyweights over the last 15 years, and he's fallen short, of course. But he's a very, 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 he's a very big man. He's got that Olympic pedigree, and that makes the fight against him very difficult.
It does indeed, what do you think is the upside? There's always an upside for this fight against Jake. I guess, if I play sort of the viewer's perspective, what people are saying on Twitter, they're saying it's a win-win for Jake. You fight a two-time former heavyweight world champion in Anthony Joshua. If you get knocked out, it's no big deal. And if you lose, if you get knocked out, you get the respect of the public as well for taking the fight. If you win, you're the king,
Yeah. The upside is, I think, I don't know, like everyone's like, oh, I respect Jake. I'm just like, it's just crazy that you would have to fight, a former world heavyweight champion, 6'6", 240-pound gold medalist. That's the only way you get people's respect. Like, there's a lot of other ways. Like, and if you don't get everybody's respect, those people just don't really understand boxing. Like I said, I feel like this fight is a little early for Jake. Obviously, I would like to see him fight one heavyweight before this fight happened, at least one heavyweight, and then maybe see him, be in there with B, a guy world rated in any weight. Cruiserweight, heavyweight, anything before you go in with a guy like Anthony Joshua. It's just a massive difference on the size and the power and win everything. But I guess, if the objective is to make people talk and make people say, oh man, he's crazy, then he's getting exactly that. He's getting what he wants. So to me, it doesn't make sense. This fight doesn't make sense to me at all, but I think it would be there down the road. I'd much rather see like a Canelo fight than an AJ.
Joey Knight pushes back against critics who still doubt Jake Paul's legitimacy. He highlights Paul's genuine punching power, insisting that the young fighter is no longer just a social media figure dabbling in boxing. Knight believes that Paul's ability to compete closely with seasoned professionals shows that he is a legitimate athlete with real skill and threat. Many experts continue to emphasize the massive experience gap between the two fighters.
Smiling and frowning at the same time. You must be smiling because it's happening and you're getting a mega payday, but surely you must be frowning at the fact that this kid and others out there believe that he stands a chance of even beating you. And look, if the stars align, maybe Jake Paul could close his eyes, he could put his head down, he could throw a punch sent from the heavens and he could clip AJ on the chin with it. But even if he does, I'd put my money on it that it doesn't do anything. I don't think it does anything to Anthony Joshua, even if Jake Paul does manage to clip him, because Joshua's never been hard to hit anyway. But the difference between getting hit by a Jake Paul and getting hit by a Daniel Dubois is monumental, and even that is an understatement. And the difference for Jake Paul in getting hit by a Nate Diaz compared to an Anthony Joshua is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. What do you think AJ would do to Nate Diaz? What do you think AJ would do to Tommy Fury? Come to think about it, what do you think Francis Ngannou would do to Jake Paul? And look at how that went. So either way, what I'm saying here is quite simple, right? Jake's style is very, very easy for Anthony Joshua to navigate, and that is even if the skill set between the two were on par, because although he's getting better at them, Jake still makes many, many fundamental flaws. He leans over his front foot when he jabs, and that's a problem because when you do that, you're always gonna have the potential to be countered when
Anthony Joshua has battled some of the toughest heavyweights of his era, and even after a 14-month layoff, his ring IQ, strategic movement, and adaptability under pressure remain at a level Jake Paul has yet to encounter. Analysts suggest that the outcome of the fight may depend less on physical attributes and more on Joshua's mastery of boxing fundamental skills, forged over years of competing on the sport's biggest stages. Recently, commentators such as Bart Kwan, Joe Jitsukawa, Ryan Aim, and Steve Green have noted a major shift in public perception regarding Jake Paul. Once dismissed as a novelty act, Paul has steadily earned respect through the increasing caliber of his opponents and the visible improvement in his technique and discipline.
Correct me if I'm wrong, right? And just to clarify, I don't class Otto Wallin as a very competitive fight. Every competitive fight that AJ is in from now until the end of his career and has been in for the last few years, I believe has taken something out of him. Every time he's in a competitive fight, even when he's won, and I'm not saying taken out of him to the extent where he's no longer a good fighter, no longer can do anything, but every single one has taken one out of him. So let's say, for example, you go down the Tony Yoka route and you can sell it as the 2 Olympic gold medalists and whatever. It's a lose-lose, mate. You're expected to knock him out. If you don't, then you go the distance. I think that's going to take something out of you. I actually think that this could be better prep for a Tyson Fury fight. Not just
mentally as well, because he smokes him and it looks great, and then he's confident.
This is what I'm saying, right? Not just from a stylistic boxing standpoint, but from the mental standpoint of the fact that if you go in there and you smoke Jake Paul, straight away, all of a sudden, it's headline news, it's massive, and as well as that, you're coming in off the back of something that's impressive, right? We all felt like the Francis Ngannou performance was really impressive, but it wasn't followed up with an impressive performance. So it doesn't actually determine whether or not...
This is worse. This is worse than that. I don't know what you're thinking, Lawrence, but the Ngannou one, you could at least say heavyweight. You could say that his pedigree. So we didn't really... While he was coming from a different kind of method of fighting, end of the day, he's still a champion.
Fans, trainers, and even skeptics are beginning to recognize him as a serious competitor rather than an entertainer seeking attention. This evolving reputation adds even more anticipation to the upcoming matchup. For Paul, each fight is no longer just a spectacle, it's a test of whether he can continue proving himself as a true professional boxer. For Joshua, it's an opportunity to reaffirm his place in the sport and silence the doubters. Together, Their contrasting journeys make this one of the most intriguing and unpredictable boxing events on the horizon.